Happy Monday! Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, and welcome back, Mr. Christian Simpson from the Daily Blitz blog, fresh off celebrating his 32nd birthday, my friend. Welcome back into the show. You know the channel, you know the place. Please subscribe. We go live basically every single day, bringing you guys the most up-to-date content. Today, we're going to be breaking down what was a wild Week 15 of the National Football League. I'm happy to do it here with my boy, Mr. Christian Simpson, also the CEO of Prime Sports World, should be joining us, and my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins, should be in the house here at some point during this show. But welcome back, Christian. Happy Monday, man. And boy, what a win for your Giants last night, even though that was PI for sure.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to
it. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, man. It was cool to have some time away. You know, there's nothing wrong with stepping away from what it is that you love to do. And, you know, because of stepping away from it, man, I feel recharged. I feel rejuvenated, and I'm ready to end this year on a positive. There's a lot to look forward to. You know, we're in the crucial stretch run of the NFL season. There are teams who are on that bubble right now. Who are looking to get to the playoffs. There are teams who have clinched divisions. There are teams who have clinched playoff spots. There's a college football playoff coming up next week. Who's going to get to LA to play for the national championship, the NFL playoffs? And I'm really looking forward to it. I honestly think outside of when both seasons start, I think this is the best time of the year for the sport.
Welcome in, Mr. TJ Hopkins, into the show. Welcome into the show, TJ. Happy Monday, man.
Happy Monday.
Yeah. Before we get started here, I just wanted to give a shout out. I guess kind of a negative shout out. So my next door neighbor, the house I lived in for about 30 years or so, next door neighbor passed away over the weekend. Just thoughts out to his family. My dad's taking it pretty hard, so shout out to my dad. Just hopefully everybody can get through it okay, because it's tough to lose a friend and a family member. Just hopefully everybody's doing okay with that situation. Because it's rough weekend, kind of actually. So, moving on, let's talk about Week 15 of the National Football League. We got the first game. It was on Thursday night. We got the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks locking horns in Seattle, and San Francisco coming out with the victory, 21-13. Game wasn't really that close, for being totally honest with it. Brock Purdy, another good game for him here, 17-26, 217, and 2 touchdowns. Chris McCaffrey, another amazing game for Chris McCaffrey. A better game for George Kittle as he put up 2 touchdowns in the air. And Geno Smith, still the Seahawks coming back down to earth a little bit. Geno Smith coming back down to earth a little bit here towards the end of the year. 31-44, 238, and a touchdown. Tough sledding in the running game. Kenneth Walker averaging basically 4 yards a carry. And then Tyler Lockett, leading receiver. Noah Fant caught the lone receiving touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks. But this game was really more about the San Francisco 49ers defense and how dominant they were throughout this game.
Yeah, and that's to be expected, because that's what the 49ers are going to do. They're going to make you a one-dimensional football team. You know, TJ and I were talking about this. What's up, TJ? You know, man, I'm just trying to be like you, baby. Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be tough to run on the 49ers. I keep saying it. This is a team I don't want to see in January, because they're built to go on a run. I think they could end up getting that second seed in the NFC, because
I do not think that's going to happen. But
you never know. You never know. You never know. Crazier things have happened, but I know I've seen a question pop up when Jimmy is cleared to play. Do you go back to him, or do you stick with Brock Purdy? Until Brock Purdy gives you a reason to bench him, you stick with the young kid, because I think he's handling things okay.
Yeah, but I still think that you want Jimmy Garoppolo back at quarterback as your veteran signal caller when it comes to being in the playoffs. Brock Purdy's been a nice story, and he's kept things afloat. But you shouldn't lose your job because you got injured. That's not usually the way things work in the NFL.
That is exactly how things works in the NFL.
Unless you're Carson Wentz, I guess.
Like, people lose their jobs to injury all the time. Alex Smith literally lost his job to Colin Kaepernick because he got hurt. Like, it happens. So, this game really wasn't all that close. It was pretty much 21-7 for majority of 21-6. Yeah, for the majority of the game. And I think the
I mean,
game
Seattle got a garbage time touchdown in the last, like the second to last drive of the game. Like
that's what I'm
this game
saying.
was not that close.
The game could have got flipped on his head, but Quandre Diggs dropped an easy interception, and that was it. That was pretty much it because Seattle gets the ball back, and Travis Homer fumbles, and San Francisco pretty much picked it up and kept rolling from there. Yeah, like they're basically asking Brock Purdy to not not
Lose
mess it
some
up,
game.
right? Not lose the game, not mess it up, and I like how they're operating. Like they pretty much calling the same game with him as they probably would with Jimmy G, and that's honestly that's good coaching. That's how you should coach your backups. And David knows this. I'm always a proponent of your backup should have some of the skill set that your primary starter has. Like
Also
now,
welcoming to the show, CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. We're breaking down Niners Seahawks.
and what all this really does is just further questions the decisions on John Lynch and drafting Trey Lance over literally every other quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence, because it's not a good place to be right now for Trey Lance. Like nobody knows what you can do. As far as we know, you're just an injury-prone quarterback. And
I mean that's a little unfair.
as far as we know, all we know about him is that he's an injury-prone quarterback. I said what the hell I said, and you can't disprove it.
Okay.
Brock Purdy. I'm very impressed with Brock Purdy, man. I mean, he went into a hostile environment. He's basically the same quarterback that we are used to seeing at Iowa State. 68% completion percentage really doesn't hurt you. Keeps it clean. He's sort of like built in that mode, like how Alex Smith used to be. Remember, David, how I used to call Alex Smith like the anti Miss Frizzle or something like that. He doesn't hurt you, but he's this on point.
He's not gonna get messy. He's not gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, and he's gonna make the right play. And that play to seal the game to get that first down when Seattle was down, 8 points. They needed that stop on 3rd and 1, and he slid out and reached the ball out. That's high football IQ. And that's what you get with a lot of reputation. That's a quarterback that's played the position for a very long time, and at a high level. I mean, coming out of the Big 12. We all know that conference is one of the best in college football. I know it's the pros, and when you have a good defense, a great defense, probably the best defense behind you that you can work with, and a lot of weapons. You got Christian McCaffrey. You have, a Brandon Ayuk. You did have Deebo Samuel, and you have a all-world tight end, one of the best tight ends in football. I mean, there's no way you can mess this up if you're Brock Purdy. I'm just a little upset that a lot of teams passed on him, and he's Mr. Irrelevant. He actually is proving to teams that he should have went higher in the NFL draft.
And it also seems like whoever San Francisco plugs in at running back, they're just automatically good. Like they have this kid Jordan Mason who had 4 carries for 64 yards. Like, all right, like nobody ever heard.
That's a testament to that great offensive line. TJ alluded to it as well. Because I was like, man, Brock Purdy. Remember TJ? You were like, he don't get them 2 fakes off and then that pass to Kittle if you don't have a good offensive line.
Hell no, come on, man. Like, bro, you did 2 pump fakes and still had time to find the man running wide open down the middle of the field.
And he had more time. Like he wasn't even the pass rush wasn't even in his face at that point. So he could have hung up there for a little bit longer. But yeah, San Francisco's pretty good. We'll see what Seattle does here down the stretch. Moving on to Saturday and to the biggest collapse in NFL history, with the Indianapolis Colts having maybe one of the better first halves to having the worst second half in the history of the NFL, to the Minnesota Vikings also having the worst first half in the history of the NFL, to having one of the better second halves in the history of the league, as Minnesota comes back from 33-0 to win this game at home, 39-36. Matt Ryan at the helm of another complete collapse. It seems to be kind of his his thing to collapse in big games there. 19 of 33, 182, one touchdown. Nobody had a rushing touchdown, and Deion Jackson caught the lone receiving touchdown. Kirk Cousins threw for 460 yards in this game, 4 touchdowns and 2 picks. Dalvin Cook, nearly 100 yards. Justin Jefferson, 12 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. KJ Osborne also had a great game here. Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen also all had receiving touchdowns. Justin Jefferson's now only, I think, 300 yards away from the record or something like that. So
he's insane.
Okay, I understand Matt Ryan is the butt of the joke here, but let's not the king of collapses. He's only had 2. Really.
There are others like that game against the Bears.
Nah.
You let that game slip
I gotta
away.
pin this. You know what? I gotta say this. I mean, the offense gets a lot of blame. They put up 33 points in that first half.
Right, a defense, how do you give up 36 straight?
The offense only actually scored. The offense only actually scored 10, 13.
Doesn't
16.
matter. You were up 33. You were up 33.
I mean, their defense put up a pick six, and they got a block punt for a touchdown.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You were up 33-0 as a defense.
You were up 33-0, and you allowed this guy, Israel Rivera, to pick the Minnesota Vikings on a plus 3,500 because I just knew that Matt Ryan was gonna blow this game after the half.
That's the thing though. That's the thing. Shannon Sharp said it on Twitter too. He's like, everybody wants to clown Matt Ryan. He the defense is allowed to stop somebody. Everybody can point.
They scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. That's just blatantly not playing defense. We're up by so much we don't have to change a thing. They played a lot of prevent.
Matt Ryan. Right, everybody can blame Matt Ryan, but no, that defense, the defense is allowed to stop somebody. The defense is allowed to be all right, we're up 33. Maybe we shouldn't, let this come back. Once it's 36, once it was 36-21, it's okay, let's stop playing. Let's knock this this prevent stuff let's knock it off.
So this was and another reason was the offense. I mean, you could put blame on both sides. The offense wasn't really doing anything. First drive coming out after the Minnesota 3-and-out in the half. 4 plays out, Minnesota touchdown, field goal, touchdown for Minnesota. 3 plays and out, touchdown, 4 plays and out, interception by Minnesota. 3 plays and out, touchdown by Minnesota. 4 plays in a fumble. Minnesota got the ball, turnover on downs. Colts get the ball, 5 plays, turnover on downs. Touchdown, 3 plays and out. Punt, end of the half. Come on, man. That offense was trash. That offense was absolutely garbage.
Can y'all see me? Because it says it's giving me a black screen.
I can see you.
Trash.
Trash. This is what happens when you hire a failed high school coach to coach your team.
David, all I'm just gonna say, you know what? I don't even want to be seen. Let his ass be the topic for me. Just trash.
No, Jeff. TJ, you were saying this. Jeff said all that Jeff Saturday. Rurod come. No, he need to go back to ESPN.
No, he don't. Hire me.
No, he does. No, I mean, I love Jeff Saturday on ESPN. I just don't love him being a head football coach at this juncture in his career.
And what's crazy, Izzy? Guess who's on the staff for Indy? Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley happens to have, I don't know, coaching experience.
He's got a ring, actually, I think, as the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks.
Come on, man.
He was the defensive coordinator for that Legion of Boom.
Man,
look, before I came on the show, My blood took my blood pressure, and it was fine. Let's not get a raise and talking about trash. Go to the next game.
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, who basically decided they didn't really want to score a lot in this game. So it's 13-3 in favor of the Cleveland Browns as they beat Baltimore. This game was in Cleveland. Tyler Huntley really struggled in this game. 17 of 30, 138 yards and an interception. Also kind of makes Lamar Jackson's value seem even better because he's able to put points on the board with this offense, and Tyler Huntley comes in and really struggles. J.K. Dobbins another good game, 2 games in a row, 13 carries, 125 yards, 9.6 yards a carry. And Mark Andrews, leading receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. On the Cleveland side, Deshaun Watson, 18-28, 161, 1 touchdown. Nick Chubb, 21-99. Mari Cooper, leading receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones, another touchdown for him. I think that's 3 in a row.
You know what, David? I wasn't even. You know what? With the non-offensive, efficiency of the Baltimore Ravens, I thought the Cleveland Browns would put up more points on this team. This is a testament to Baltimore's defense more than anything. But yeah, I'm just, Deshaun Watson. I know he's probably pretty much ready to scrap the season and kind of, kind of go into next season with some momentum because he still looks a little rusty out there. 3rd game in 700 days or whatever, you know what I mean? So he hasn't played football in 2 years. This is his 3rd game. But that Cleveland Browns offense, I mean, I would have been, Nick Chubb, 21 carry. I would have gave it to him 10 more times. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like 18 to 28. He missed a lot of throws in my opinion. Deshaun Watson, he just doesn't look like he's still in the flow of it. I would love to see David Njoku get a little bit more love from him. He only got 3. He got 6 targets for 3 receptions, and I mean he's just a little off. But for Baltimore, yeah, you're right. Lamar Jackson, it's still pay that man. You know what I mean? It's still pay that man.
Oh yeah, like if anything, like I said, right? Like it's great that your backups can run the same offense that you can run with Lamar Jackson. The downside is those guys ain't Lamar Jackson.
Nope.
All right, so Baltimore has a chance to score. They get to the red zone, and Tyler Huntley throws a pick. Right, it gets picked off, and that was like, all right, I'm going to Culver's because I definitely went to Culver's after Buddy threw that pick.
I think we was on the phone, TJ. We was on the phone. We was both like, we finna go get something to eat.
Yeah, Culver's is fire. Let's be real. Culver's is real fire. And Justin Tucker proved that he's human, apparently.
Yeah,
he missed 2 field goals in this game. One was blocked, and the other one he just missed.
The block one, I'm not putting that on him, bro. So like that's just them making a great play. Like, yeah, he missed the kick, and it's like, what?
And Cam York missed 2 field goals that weren't even remotely close.
It's true. Yeah, they were shaking the shit out of him. And you wonder why they didn't want to.
You would act like it was a blizzard out there. It was barely some snow flurries. And he missed 2 chippers.
I'll say this. Cleveland just turned up the physical nature of the football game. And, you look at the Ravens, what are they known for? Establishing a physicality and controlling the game from a physical standpoint. And Cleveland punched them in the mouth. And Baltimore could just never recover. Their offense couldn't get out there. Yeah, the defense was pretty good, but it was their offense. And that just always seems to be the issue when it comes to them. And unfortunately, I never thought I'd see myself saying this, but I think John Harbaugh is starting to lose that locker room. They've blown leads this year. They had a pretty formidable lead. It seemed to be in the AFC North.
Still 9-5, bro. Like we talking like they.
Yeah.
We talking like they 500, bro. Like they 9-5.
But I do think the problems with this wide receiving core is something that has like Sammy Watkins just got released today. Like they should be picking him up.
No, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
Like they need with this passing attack. Like Mark Andrews cannot be your only reliable weapon from week to week.
Okay,
Right.
and we understand that. We understand
they gotta do. They gotta do. I mean, there aren't that many other people unless you're gonna like Odell Beckham Jr. is gonna be coming here, which he probably isn't. Which he's probably I don't know what that situation is right now, but.
Who cares? Like I'm so glad that they're done talking about it because it's like until he signs with a team, stop talking every day or literally every day about all right, The Cowboys are going to sign Odell. Like, dude, unless like sign him and shut up about it already. Like somebody.
But anyways, yeah, but
But
this
anyway,
Ravens,
like
this Ravens offense is like
so like we already know
without Lamar
like
Jackson, you could really see the flaws in this offense because he's the engine that makes this go. Like Tyler Huntley, yes, he plays a similar play style, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
he's not Lamar.
Not at
And
all.
obviously, like it's a different ball game if you have Lamar, a healthy Rashad Bateman because he can take some of that pressure off of Mark Andrews because it's like, all right, Mark Andrews is playing and none of those other guys are playing. All right, I already know like I'm a single high Mark Andrews, and if I lose a game to the Baltimore Ravens with Devin Duvernay having the game of his life, then there's nothing I can do about it. Like seriously, right? But this has been one of the few criticisms we've had about the Ravens, pretty much since Lamar Jackson has been QB1. It's like, all right, you got to get him some targets to throw the ball to, not name Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Moving on to the nightcap on Saturday night, Miami, Buffalo. The snow really started to come down towards the end of this game here as Buffalo pulls out the 3-point victory, 32-29. Tua Tagovailoa, 17 of 30, 234, 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, leading rusher for the Miami Dolphins, as Jeff Wilson did not play in this game. 7 carries for 136 yards, 8.2 yards per carry. Ahmed also had 7.2 yards per carry. Everybody was running the ball good at Miami. And then Miami, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, all receiving touchdowns. On the Buffalo side, Josh Allen, 25 of 40, 304, 4 tutties. He also led the team in rushing with 77 yards. Dawson Knox.
That's the problem.
Quentin Morris, Naheem Hines, James Cook all had receiving touchdowns for Buffalo in this game. As Josh Allen, Miami ties this game up. Josh Allen drives it down the field, gets the game-winning field goal by Tyler Bass as Buffalo moves to 11-3, the number 1 seed in the AFC.
That's how you run the football.
Miami.
You look at Miami.
Straight.
You look at Miami. That's how you run the football.
Exactly, because Izzy, sorry to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
what about how Miami and Buffalo are so similar? Just like, you know how we always talk about how Buffalo is way too dependent on Josh Allen to bail them out? Miami's way too dependent on Tua and Tyreek Hill to bail them out. Spread the ball around, and like you said, run the football, like run the rock. And I like the effort. They want it to be physical. Keep that offense on the sideline. Josh and them can't do anything if they're not on the field, right? So, yeah, run the ball, get downhill, bully somebody. That's what I need to see from Buffalo.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, so Buffalo's kind of using a patchwork offensive line, so they're not playing with the full cast of characters. And the way Buffalo, like, they use that short screen game, they use that short, bubble screen, little, like, slant routes. They use that as, like, a compliment to their running game because they don't have the offensive line to block it. And that's just the way they've been doing it this season. That's why you see Dawson Knox involved a lot in the passing game. That's why they traded for Naheem Hines as well. He's going to get the ball out of the backfield, extension of your running game. But yeah, the offensive line is just not where it needs to be for Buffalo to run the ball consistently. But they did average 5.2 yards per carry, although 7.7 of that is Josh Allen.
Well, I feel like, a lot of that came in. They were kind of forced as that snow was coming down. I don't like the 40 throws, even though, those shorter throws are more like run plays. But I still don't like the 40 throws, in inclement weather. It worked. They won. But, in playoff football, they're too reliant on, and rightfully so on Josh Allen. But, 13 carries for Devin Singletary, 5 only for James Cook. I would think that those guys can at least split, 30, 15 and 10 at least, each. So I would love for Buffalo, down the stretch to start learning how to run the football more. This is always my problem with them is that they just don't run the damn football when they need to. Miami probably should have lost this game by more. They probably didn't need to win this by field goal. They probably could have won this game by a touchdown or 10 points or so. They could just run the damn football, run some damn clock off.
Anyway, somebody needs to tell Mike McDaniels that in order to prepare for a game in the snow and cold weather, that turning up the air conditioning in the Dolphins practice facility is not the same thing. Like, that's not how you.
Well, what is he supposed to do, TJ? They're playing Miami.
I don't know, travel to Buffalo for the week, like travel to the cold weather city that you're playing in.
I mean, you
Like,
could have gone to like Boston College and worked out there for the weekend, the week
I don't know,
Maybe, yeah.
or something.
like he's walking around the Dolphins practice facility top with a shirt on, said, "I wish it was colder." It's like, dude, you turned the air conditioning up in the practice building. That's not the same as playing
In a driving
in
snowstorm.
the driving snow. Like like you thank your lucky stars that this game was as close as it was, because if you got your ass kicked this game, guess what they're talking about? Well, he prepped for the game by turning up the air conditioning in the practice building. Like, no, like, dude, you are lucky that this game was only 3 points. Like, shit, like that is terrible preparation. Like, all jokes aside, that is not how you get ready for, like, that is not how you do that. Teams that go to Miami, that play, like, teams that go to Miami, if you play in a cold weather city, you don't wait, like, you don't say, "Hey, turn the heat up in the practice building. We finna get ready for Miami." Like, no, they go to Miami like a week early, and they practice in Miami.
How concerned are you about this 3-game slide for Miami?
It's concerning because
They're about to go to Green Bay and get smacked next week. So, that's why.
No, Green Bay goes to them.
Oh, they love, yeah. Green Bay goes to them. They're about to get smacked in their own house. So, 4-game slide coming up, baby.
it's concerning because when Tua struggles, I think that affects the entire team. Couldn't really get it going against the Chargers. We knew it was going to be a tough challenge for them against the 49ers, and we knew it was going to be tough for them against Buffalo. But they have 3 games to right this ship, and they got to treat every game from here on out as if it were a playoff game. It's a must-win moving forward.
Yeah, they are the last seed in the playoffs. So, like, you got the Patriots still in it on their heels, the Jets on their heels.
Jaguars are right in it now too.
Like, well, yeah, you got to keep an eye on Jacksonville, because right now you're primarily concerned with the 2 teams in your division, the Patriots and the Jets. Like, they are right there. Like, literally a game separates the 2 of y'all. Jets and the Patriots have the same record, and you're 8-6. So,
you know what?
Yeah.
After that Patriots debacle, they don't even deserve to win another football game.
Look, don't say nothing.
We will get to
that is not the point. That is not the point. That's not the point.
I'm just telling you. I'm going to root for Jacksonville to get that last playoff spot.
Moving on from Saturday night, let's swing into Sunday. First game on the docket there. We got the Philadelphia Eagles going into Soldier Field, pull out the 5-point victory against the Chicago Bears. Jalen Hurts, pretty pedestrian game for Jalen Hurts, even though he did run the ball in for 3 touchdowns. But he threw 2 picks in this game. I think he almost doubled his pick number for the entire season. A.J. Brown, 9 catches for 181 yards, as he was a big-time and then on the Bears side of this, Justin Fields, 14-21, 152, 2 touchdowns. He also had that crazy play on the sideline that didn't count for a touchdown, but should have. David Montgomery also had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. And Byron Pringle also received a touchdown. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, Eagles struggled this game, still found a way to win. So, thoughts?
Man.
Yeah, you said it. They struggled, but they found a way to win. Like, all right. Again,
Jalen Hurts is now nursing a shoulder injury. Is questionable for next week.
Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said that. Gardner Minshew it is highly likely that Gardner Minshew gets to start this Saturday.
TJ, go in on that offensive line, please. Alex Leatherwood, he needs a tutorial on how to play football.
Man,
the Raider reach, baby.
But it is really sad that when you're in the offensive line and you can't block a simple stunt rush. Right? like the Eagles ran that pretty much the entire time. And it wasn't like they didn't even blitz. Like, they were literally just sending 4 and they were getting home with 4. Like, it made zero. Like, you lined up Cole Kmet, who's a solid blocking tight end, like, in open field. you're not asking Cole Kmet to like go 1-on-1 with Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick's gonna win that every time, and he literally did. Right, like it was, and they had what it was like two dudes that had two, like it was three dudes that had 2 sacks. Like they had 6 sacks this game. The Eagles defense in 3 games have gotten 19 sacks. There are teams that don't have 19 sacks as a team. They've gotten that in 3 games. Jalen Hurts 2 picks. One of them was really really bad. Like the one
really bad.
The first one to Kyler Gordon. That was just like, dude, just throw the ball away. And what makes it worse, like it was gonna be a holding penalty on that play anyway. So just throw the ball away.
TJ Bellis Jones. What do you think about him?
He just needs more time. Like reminder, this is a dude who didn't have a training camp. He didn't have a preseason, and he missed like the first 3 or 4 games of the season. So he's still learning. Like I get it. It's super easy to kill him. Like everybody wants to do it, but everybody also has to remember he didn't have all of that. Like it's different if he has a preseason and a training camp and he's still making these mistakes. No, he's still learning on the fly. So that's what that is. And Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the only quarterback this season so far against the Eagles to not throw an interception. Like they've gotten multiple interceptions.
Wow, that is a stat.
That's a hell of a stat.
They've gotten multiple interceptions from every quarterback they've played this season. Justin Fields is the only one who didn't turn the ball over in any capacity to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's also produced the highest passer rating against the Eagles this defense this year.
And he regularly from game to game proves that he's tough as hell. Like Justin Fields, it would have been easy for him when he like looked like he banged up his hamstring a little bit there towards I think it was in the third quarter. Nathan Peterman came in for a little bit. Justin Fields came back and they didn't have to do that. Like good for him, good on him, man, to continue to play through those injuries.
It was just a cramp. Like I get it. Like it was a cramp, but also shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles in general for being like, y'all talking Dallas this, Dallas that, Micah Parsons this. Like, no, we play the Chicago Bears this week. They're a tough team. They've literally been in multiple, like more than half their games this season, and y'all really trying to talk to us about something that's happening a week out.
I mean, maybe that's why Jalen Hurts isn't going to play next week. It's like, oh, you wanted to start your backup quarterback against us? How would you face like our backup quarterback?
I'm gonna just be a football fan here. Oh, my bad to cut you off, TJ. I just wanted to sneak something in here. I'm being a football fan. It is gonna be a pleasure to watch Justin Fields play football for another 10 plus years. I'm sorry. I know I'm a Packer fan, and I know I'm saying that, but he's magnificent.
But think about this, right? Think about this. Including yesterday, they've been in 8 one-score games this season with one of the worst rosters in the NFL. 8 games. And
I always say this. I'm telling you guys, he's got the Josh Allen trajectory. He's got the Josh Allen trajectory going, and it's very similar to the first couple seasons in their career.
It's also very similar to Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Like their numbers are really similar from season 1.
No,
like their first 20
the only difference is like I doubt that we get a disgruntled AJ Brown, a disgruntled.
AJ Brown wasn't even disgruntled. The Titans just didn't want to pay him. Like
that's cause for disgruntled. That's cause for disgruntled. Like
I mean, Michael Thomas might be available. I don't know if we want him, but moving on to that game, talking about the New Orleans Saints, we got them beating the Atlanta Falcons 21-18 as nobody wants to win the NFC South this year. Desmond Ridder in his first career start struggled, and I started him in daily. 13 of 26 for 97 yards. Tyler Algier, man, had a showing out here. 17 carries, 139 yards, and a touchdown. Drake London, pretty solid rookie season so far. 7 catches for 70 yards. On the other side, Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill had 3 receiving touchdowns. Alvin Kamara actually showed up this week.
Yes, he did. How'd you like that, David? How'd you like that?
I hate it. I'm really upset. That's for real, dude. I'm not even kidding. 21 of 91, and then Rashid Rahad Shaheed and Jawan Johnson had receiving touchdowns for the Saints. Just, I swear, man, Alvin Kamara didn't do a damn thing for me for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I know we're gonna talk about this in another show, but for 4 weeks he was terrible. And then as soon as my season is over, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna remember how to play now."
You know who he did something for in his first playoff game? This guy right here. This guy. Yeah.
Again, I don't. I this is just, and Christian can get in after me. I don't like what I never liked what the Falcons were doing. Like, it made zero sense. Like, if you're like, you've pretty much been in this thing since the beginning, and then all of a sudden, Desmond Ridder, you get to start, and then apparently, I know Marcus Mariota took off because he just had a baby, like his wife just had a baby, but he's not back with the team yet, and he's probably not gonna come back because, hey, fuck that, I have a baby.
I wouldn't come back either.
Well, I think this was always the plan. Like, Atlanta was going to see where they were going to see where they were when the bye was. They were going to start after their bye, no matter what. This was the plan.
They're still in the NFC South hunt. Okay, they're still in it. He gives you the best possible chance to win the thing.
Come on, man.
Why not win it? It's just good for your other rookies, not just
If you were gonna do that, you might as well should have just started Ridder from the jump.
Probably they were like, no matter how the season goes, at the bye, after our bye week, Desmond Ridder's going to start. Sense. We're going to find out what we have in him, because he's like, Marcus Mariota is not the future of this team, and they're making the playoffs. Come on, please.
No. Wait.
That's not the point. That's not the point, David. They're still in it. They're still in. They're still in it. That's the point.
You still got other players and other rookies and second-year guys that would love to be in the playoffs. Matter of fact, the contract says they would love to be in the playoffs. The bonuses said they would love to be in the playoffs, right? And it's just great experience for them to play in the playoffs. So why are you starting a rookie quarterback? But
we also mentioned that Marcus Mariota is not even with the team. What were they supposed to do? Who else is on the roster?
I mean, if they would have told him, hey, well, we're not going to start Desmond Ridder, you got to start. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have made this game.
I mean, maybe.
He probably would have played with a chip on the shoulder. You got a new kid. I mean, come on.
Logan Woodside is the only. Logan Woodside and Felipe Franks are the only other. Marcus Mariota is actually on IR right now.
When you pointed to paint that scenario, yeah, they didn't have a choice but to start Desmond Ridder. But what we're saying is, if this that plan made no sense to be like, all right, we're gonna start Desmond Ridder. We're gonna start Desmond Ridder after the bye, no matter what. Like, if shoe on the other foot, if other way around, flip the record. If they're literally 9-5. They're not starting Desmond Ridder after the bye.
Marcus Mariota had a procedure on his knee done. Like, that's why he's not playing.
Okay.
Well, I know for a fact that he literally did just have a baby because he posted.
Yeah, he had some sort of scope on his knee. He's on IR now. He's been on IR since last week.
And Desmond Ridder, it's completely unfair to you because it's like, hey, your first NFL start is the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Like, that's not a defense you want to see.
I mean, you're gonna have to make your first NFL start somewhere.
Yeah, and it should have been week 1, not week 15.
It shouldn't have been week 1.
It should have been week 1.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem.
What Marcus, no, I said this from John. You know what Marcus Mariota is. You know what he is. The book on Marcus Mariota is written and it's damn near done. Desmond Ridder should have gotten a start. He should have got reps with the ones. He should have gotten all of that. If the plan was
a better position at this point.
Like, seriously, what can Marcus Mariota do for you that, hey, I've never seen him do that before? Like, no, you know what Marcus Mariota is. You know what he is.
But yeah.
Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's just move on. Let's talk about the battle between the NFC North and the AFC East as the Detroit Lions pull out a last-second victory, last-minute victory, I guess, actually, technically, 20-17 over the New York Jets. Jared Goff continues to play well for the Detroit Lions as they are surging at 7-7, winners of at least 6 of their last 7 games. They started the season 1-6, and they're 7-7, so good for them. Jared Goff, 23-38, 1 touchdown. DeAndre Swift, 8 carries, 52 yards. Jamal Williams, 13 carries for 32. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 for 76. And Brock Wright, the backup tight end, or I guess starting tight end now, with the lone touchdown for 51 yards to the house on a beautiful play design by their offensive coordinator, who, TJ, yes, he probably will have a head coaching job at some point down the line. Zach Wilson got the start because Mike White wasn't cleared. Played okay in this game, 18 of 35, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Zovan Knight, 13-23. Garrett Wilson, 4 catches for 98 yards. CJ Uzoma had both receiving touchdowns in this game. Gentlemen.
Who's going to be a head coach one day? I missed that part. Who's talking about?
The Detroit Lions OC. His name is, 1 second. I will get it.
Well, that was a hell of a design because they thought that Detroit was going to run that football to get that first down, and they slipped that tight end on that. They slipped him out on basically like a screenplay, and he took it down to the house.
Ben Johnson.
That was a hell of a play called by that OC. What I want to say though about the Jets, Zach Wilson, man. I mean, Dan Orlovsky made a good point. I don't know how smart he is. I mean, he is just does not see the field at all. I don't expect. I mean, he is looking like to be one of the biggest busts. I called it. I saw that BYU. He was erratic. He's not mature enough for this pro game. He is not the guy moving forward. The Jets kind of blew that one. But then Robert Saleh, what do you guys think about the timeout situation at the end there? You think he should have taken the timeout there?
Yeah, of course.
To kind of preserve some time.
Yeah, I mean, of course he should have. I mean.
Well, I look at it this way.
I mean, if they get that 4th down stop, they win the game. I mean, that's the end. That's period. End of story. You get that 4th down stop, you win the game.
I look at it this way.
The timeout situation is irrelevant at that point.
I look at it this way. This is a Lions defense that, although they won the last handful of games. Defense really isn't all that good. They give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of points. And Zach Wilson,
they've certainly been better as of late.
Okay, better as of late. He says better as of late. Okay, 23-14 to the line, 14 to the Jags, 28 to the Bills, 18 to the Giants, 30 to the Bears, and nonetheless, this is a defense like they're still a couple pieces away. Like Zach Wilson pretty much should have he should have did more. He should have did better. There's not 2 DBs on this roster, on the Lions roster, that can slow down Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis. That's really not right. Like I don't know what he saw on that pick that he threw, Zach, because that was just a terrible pick. Like, bro, like what was that? Was that like were you caught in between trying to throw the pass away or throw it to the receiver that was in the field? Like
he can't see the field. He doesn't see the field. He doesn't see the field right. He's too erratic. He just doesn't.
He rolled out on the pick, bro. Like he rolled.
That's what I talk about. He's too erratic. He throws a hell of a ball. He throws a couple good balls to Garrett Wilson. The one where Garrett Wilson was like draped all over. He threw it like a money ball right in the bread basket where only Garrett Wilson could catch it. And then he throws picks like that. I mean, he's just too erratic for the professional game. Teams, you cannot play like you cannot go out there and play like you're playing flag football. You know how flag football, they're running around, play here, play there, play there. No, you can't do that. You know, you're just you're gonna run into trouble out here, man.
Well, the real issue is the Lions defense made them one-dimensional. Like Zonovan Knight, who has basically been a godsend for them since Brees Hall has gone down. 13 carries, 23 yards. That's 1.8 a carry.
They
Mike,
only rushed it 2.3 yards a carry as a team.
as a team, they had 50 as a team. They ran the ball 22 times. The Lions made them one dimensional, right? That's pretty much what it was. So I guess the lazy thing to do here is blame Zach Wilson, saying he should have been better. Yada woo woo. 18 for 35, 317, 2 touchdowns, a pick, a terrible pick, and they sacked him 4 times. Jared Goff, 23 of 38, 252.
Certainly the front seven has played much better though, TJ. Like alluded to David's point, front seven has played where they had 4 sacks in this game. I think one was on like a blitz though. But they like you said, 50 yards on 2.3 a carry. That's playing pretty stout defense, and they did turn them into a one-dimensional football game, even though they did allow 317 yards to the air.
Christian.
I mean, that's one-dimensional, bro. That's
Exactly.
I like what I'm seeing from the Lions. They're playing with intensity. They're playing with confidence. And I mean, they turned their entire season around with a straight face. How many of you thought that they'd be 500 and they'd be in playoff contention right now? Because usually they're eliminated by this point of the year. And I guess, biting kneecaps is really paid off. I guess. I mean,
how big is that end of the year game going to be? I'm just telling.
Moving on to the another battle in the AFC North versus the NFC South, as nobody wants to win the NFC South. Pittsburgh Steelers going into Carolina and continuing to keep that hope alive that they can have that winning season for Mike Tomlin. 24-16 over the Carolina Panthers. Pittsburgh ran it down their throat. 45 carries as a team for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson also had 10 catches in this game for 98 yards. Mitchell Trubisky, 17 to 22, 179. No touchdowns, no picks. Sam Darnold on the other side, 14-23, 225, 1 touchdown. Chuba Hubbard, they did not run the ball as well. 16 carries for 21 yards for the Carolina Panthers.
1.3 a carry.
Yards per carry. DJ Moore, leading receiver for the Panthers, at 5 for 73 and a touchdown.
Ooh. Okay. Well, we already know that this what this was. Like this, let's not act like the Steelers defense, not named TJ Watt and Cam Hayward, like it's been much to brag home about. Like the fact that they shut you down in the run game like that says more about you than it does about them.
Carolina's been balling on the running game. Like they've been really running it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like and you only ran the ball 16 times. That like you abandoned the running game like that, and
they were losing 24-7 for a majority of this game.
Yeah. I ain't trying to
even that DJ Moore touchdown, it was pretty much in garbage time.
Like 21-7. It was 21-7 in the third quarter, then 21-10, 21-13, 24-13. Yeah, when it was 24-13 with a minute left, game over. Pretty much game over.
Mr. Trubisky was pretty efficient in this game, too,
bro. Like this game was like, how can I describe it? This game was like broccoli. Like it's good for you. It's like it's bland. It's all that other good. It's all that other stuff. It's like, all right, we're gonna go in, we're gonna handle business, we're gonna go home. What I do like is this 2-1 run the pass. The Steelers as a team ran the ball 45 times. 45 times.
Steelers with this win are still kind of in the playoff hunt too.
Yeah,
only a couple games out.
If they went out, they could still have a winning season for Mike Tomlin.
That's crazy. That's crazy, especially with everything that's happened, all the injuries on the defensive end. But yeah, and if Kenny Pickett doesn't come back soon, I mean, Mitch is the guy that kind of galvanize the troops. I mean, we've seen him do it for the Bears. It kind of surge a decent defense.
Mitchell Trubisky never galvanized anything. I'm half kidding.
Come on.
Yeah. Christian.
I mean, there's really not much to say. Like you said,
there's not much to say about this one. It was
let's go to the next game because I have a lot.
Moving on to the next game, one of the bigger collapses of the weekend. Dallas Cowboys going into Duval County and losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars in overtime, 40-34 on a pick six walk-off by Rashad, or was it Jennings? Yes, Jennings.
Yeah.
Rashad Jennings, walk-off pick six as the ball basically hit Noah Brown in the hands. He got hit in the air, and he was just there with the easiest pick he'll ever have in his life. Took it right to the house. But yeah, Dak Prescott, 23 of 30, 256, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Rayshawn Jenkins, that's his name.
Yeah, Rayshawn Jenkins. Tony Pollard, 19 of 75. Ezekiel Elliott had the lone rushing touchdown in this game. And then Noah Brown, Peyton Hendershot, and had the receiving touchdown. On the Jacksonville side, Trevor Lawrence, man, continues to play well in his second season. 27 of 42, 4 touchdowns and the 1 interception. Travis Etienne over 100 yards rushing. Zay Jones with a hat trick of touchdowns. And Marvin Jones Jr. had the other receiving touchdown in this game as Jacksonville came back and beat the Dallas Cowboys in overtime behind a 17-point third quarter.
All right, this is the way I look at it, because Dallas, they always appear to do this. When things are going well for them and things are working for them, they get away from that. Like, Dak did more than enough. So in this football game, what do I always tell you, David? For the Cowboys to win, Dak can't throw the ball over 30 times. He threw the ball 30 times yesterday. But it just seems like, when Dallas has big leads, they get away from running the football. And this is a problem. So again, I present the question, who are they? Are they the team that absolutely just punched Minnesota in the mouth the week before Thanksgiving? Or are they the team that blow a 14-point lead in Green Bay and a lead yesterday in Jacksonville? Like, who are they? We don't know. That's
the defense is soft too.
No, I just answered the question. They are not that team that punched Minnesota in the mouth. Why? Because they've only done that one time. That's literally it.
Well, I mean, they beat down the Colts pretty good. But
look, man.
He said that trying to validate his argument.
A group of baby mamas trying to get child support to beat the Colts at this point.
Look. This is welcome, Dallas Cowboys. Welcome to the Green Bay Packers fans' world. Dealing with Mike McCarthy, because on 3rd and 2, you throw the football deep.
You are not blaming Mike McCarthy.
Packer fans will literally never get over that.
That blame here, because I know you got Boy Wonder over there.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore calling the plays. You're the lead decision maker to say, all right, we're going to pass on 3rd and 2. And you know what? We're going to run some deep routes, baby. And we're going to try and get 15 when we only need 2. Like, no.
This is where they're at. And Izzy, you should really know this one too, right? Like, good record. You beat a bunch of bad teams. Right, you say this is the year, right, and then you have
and then you give up 500 total yards on offense to the Jacksonville Jaguars,
right? Like you're there, like and you lose the game, like that's what you are, right?
Trevor Lawrence turned to a top 10 quarterback this year. Okay, so
right,
Trevor Lawrence has been very good this season.
Yes,
he's come a long way from the guy that went a whole month without throwing a touchdown pass. And the fact that no one really talked about that at the time still irks my soul, but it's the white thing to do, I guess.
Also, crazy, like you put weapons and a decent offensive line around a rookie quarterback. Look what happens.
Right? Look what happens.
That's not how that works, right? You go spend some money in free agency, you get them 2 wide receivers and an offensive line. Like, funny how you all of a sudden start to play better, right?
I'm glad I snuck my pun in there and y'all didn't react. So like,
I heard it. I just
I know it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So now when I go to work tonight and I listen to Undisputed, I'm going to listen to 2 hours of why the Cowboys lost and how much of the blame does Dak get and when is Odell coming to the Cowboys and all this other stuff about. It's pretty much gonna be a 2 hour.
It's horrible. I heard it already, TJ. You're in for a rude awakening.
It's pretty much gonna be like 2 hours of why Dallas.
I like purposely don't watch those shows anymore because I can't even stand it. Like it just.
I watch a snippet of them going. It was a 15-minute. Basically, Shannon Sharp got 5 minutes in and Skip got 10 in, and I was like, Skip can't possibly be happy with these Cowboys. Let me tell you why, man. Look, last 3 games, how many sacks Cowboys got? 1, 2.
Bro, they literally spent 26 minutes talking about the Cowboys. The opening 26 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Talk about the Cowboys.
My thing is, this is a classic, right? The trap game. We always talk about it. You're looking ahead to Philly. You're so embarrassed that you lost to Philly that you're like, oh, we got to get to Philly. We're going to beat Philly. Michael Parsons is talking about Philly instead of talking about the Jaguars.
Talking about the Jaguars.
You know what I mean? The defense couldn't stop the fly. Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville Jaguars were doing whatever, whenever, and however to the Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah, the defense has some fixing to do. Yeah, Trayvon Diggs, you should be mad after the game. He's like, yeah, we're pissed off. Yeah, you should play pissed off. Next time you play Philly, they ain't going to have the this Saturday, when they don't have Jalen Hurts, you should be pissed off. Right? You should come out and play hard as hell.
And what's crazy, like, bro, like you're up 27-10. You're up 27-10. All you got to do is slam the door one more time, and I'm pretty sure Jacksonville would have folded. Like it's 20. You're up 27.
Not this Jaguar team, but not under Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, can we talk about the game that Rayshon Jenkins had though? He had 18 tackles.
Yeah.
And the game-winning touchdown off the interception.
David,
I imagine he was tired. I was kidding.
David, you can say that, but it's like no, like you can say it, but like it's confidence is great when you score 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes. Like that is a quick turnaround because it goes from 27-10 to 27-24, and it's like, oh, okay, we back in this thing now. Like, yeah, like let's go. Like, who wants it more?
2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown.
Like it's like who wants it more at this point? And that was just a bad play by Dak in overtime. It's like, dude, just you live to play another down. Literally live to play another down.
Hit him right in the hands, dude. You got to catch that if you're Noah Brown.
But at the same time, like if you're in the grass, like just take the L.
I mean,
take the sack.
You got to catch that.
Hit
him right in the hands, dude. You got to catch that.
Eat the sack.
Yeah. Just a bad loss for Dallas. I mean, they, like Izzy said, and I've been saying it all along this year too, you can't look ahead no matter what happens. That big opponent that you're looking forward to, they're going to be there at the end of the day. I mean, look, Dak did everything right. Normally, in losses like this, he's the one that's taking all the blame. He threw the ball enough, but it just seems like every time Dallas has a big lead, they get away from what it is that built them that lead, and that's a cause for concern moving forward.
Moving on to one of the other games that was a potential upset here, as Kansas City went into Houston to take on the Houston Texans and had to go to overtime to beat them 30-24. Patrick Mahomes 36-41, 33-6, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball 33 times for 189 yards in this game and 2 touchdowns. One by Jerick McKinnon and one by Patrick Mahomes. Jerick McKinnon, MVS, had the receiving touchdowns. Jerick McKinnon had the winning receiving touchdown of the game. On the Houston side of this, Davis Mills, 12-24, 121, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Good game from here. He also had a rushing touchdown. Jordan Akins and I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Tegan Quintorino had the other receiving touchdown. Quintoriano.
This is all good, David.
How do you pronounce it? I
don't know either.
I mean,
it's just funny just sitting here and you pronounce it.
Bro, like y'all are journalists. Y'all are journalists and y'all still can't pronounce people's names.
Hey,
Quintoriano.
Thank you. Sounded like
we see it all the time. I mean, we see it all the time.
Quinn Toriano. There you go. He had the other receiving touchdown as Kansas City had to go to overtime to win this game against the Houston Texans. But they did show some balance here on offense, which is
the Texans outside of what the Browns was a 2-score game, the Dolphins was a 2-score game, the Commanders was a 2-score game.
They play tough, man.
Eagles was a 2-score game.
They have played hard.
And that's a testament to Lovey.
Chargers was a 2-score game.
I mean, the Eagles they had to survive that. They were up by they were winning that game. They were winning.
They did. Like it's the Texans, the Bears. Like they again, you're not going to be good.
And
right?
Derek Stingley is quietly having a really solid rookie season.
Right, like
I don't think he's given up a passing touchdown as the main defender.
Like that's the thing, right? The teams like the Texans, the Bears, like you're not going to be good.
Oh, he's
you know you're not going to be good, but can you be annoying? Can you be a thorn in the side of the team that you're playing that day, right? I'm pretty sure everybody thought the Eagles were going to roll over the Bears and this game would be over by the third quarter. Hurts and the crew would be out with helmets on the sideline, just chilling, backups in everywhere. Chiefs probably thought the same thing, right? Pat Mahomes gonna go in. He gonna throw for 330 and 4 touchdowns in 3 quarters, and him and Kelsey and the crew gonna be on the sideline in the fourth. Backups in, it's game over. The stadium gonna be 75% empty because Texans fans just went home. Like I can't watch this beat down no more. No, go out, have some heart, have some pride, and be like, hey, you may win, but it ain't gonna be pretty, and you gonna know you played us today, right? And you went to overtime, and I don't even know how what'd you do in overtime? Like, didn't you mess up in overtime?
Yeah, I think they had a fumble early in the overtime and gave him the short field, and Jerick McKinnon.
They did. I think Davis Mills was trying to scramble and he fumbled, and it was like one of those things where it's like you know how David. I forgot who you talked about. Like, it was Baker Mayfield. Yeah, remember how you said like how the game is rigged, how Baker can just come in off of 2 days and win the game. Like it's like, how are you as the Texans? Like how are you in this game the entire time, and all of a sudden Davis Mills just scrambles and fumble, and I'm gonna give the Chiefs the ball at the 25-yard line, and 2 plays later, walk-off touchdown, go home.
1 play later, they only had the ball. If 1 play on offense in overtime, they fumbled it away. Kansas City gets the ball. The next play, they scored the game-winning touchdown.
But you guys want to know something funny? My cousin TJ is gonna know what I'm talking about. My cousin and I had a bet that the Chargers will win the division. And see, I don't get rid of text messages, so what I do? Go to the index in my phone, type that thing in, and I reply to the message. Like, look, I'm gonna need that. I'm
gonna need that. Bills is due. Christmas is coming around.
Moving on to the late afternoon window. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. I really don't have anything. I will say this about Kansas City, though. David, I haven't liked the way they look in these last 2 games.
They
They let Denver hang around, and then they let the Texans hang around.
They all right. They good.
Okay. Moving on to the battle of the backup quarterbacks. In this case, the backup of the 3rd-string quarterback versus the backup, as Arizona went into Denver into Mile High and lost by 9 points as Denver gets their 4th win of the season. Trace McSorley came in for Colt McCoy after he suffered concussion. He did not play particularly well in this game. 7 of 15, 95 yards with 2 interceptions. James Conner, 16 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, 7 for 60. On the Brett Rippon, 21 of 26, extremely efficient, 197 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Latavius Murray and the return of the Mac had the lone rushing touchdowns in this game. And Jerry Jeudy leading for the Broncos. And Eric Tomlinson, tight end.
I'm gonna turn my back next game.
All right, moving on. Yeah, we'll just moving on to one of the worst decisions in the history of the National Football League, where Jacoby Myers and so New England goes into Las Vegas and they lose that game on the worst final play in the history of the NFL. Potentially. I don't even know if this game has a nickname yet, but they lose 30-24. Max Jones, 13 of 31, 112, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Ramondre Stevenson had 1 on the ground. On the other side, Derek Carr threw for 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 22 of 93. Keelan Cole, Darren Waller, Matt Collins, all had receiving touchdowns.
Darren Waller's
for the Raiders.
back? Holy
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, there was a Darren Waller sighting. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Keelan
Darren
Cole,
Waller.
I'm not like that. I'm not totally sure he got both feet in on that touchdown that he
didn't.
scored
He did it.
the time of the game. I'm not sure.
First of all,
He was 100%. He was 100%.
It looked real clear that he was for sure not in the end zone.
He was 100%. He was 100% out of bounds. But you know what happened? You know what happened in this game that allows us to not focus on that? You know what happened?
The worst decision ever.
The worst decision ever. Like no one cares that Keelan Cole's foot was out of bounds on that touchdown because Jacoby Myers did the dumbest thing ever. Matter of fact, I'm blaming Ramondre Stevens too because, like, bro, like you didn't even have to, you didn't even have to pitch the ball. Like, did they not know the game was tied?
Like you didn't have to try to like gadget play, get you weren't even gonna get another play out of this. Like just go down, go to overtime.
Go to overtime and whatever.
Instead, what happens? Ramondre Stevenson gives it to Jacoby Myers. He for some reason throws it backwards.
Tries to throw it back.
And then we got Chandler Jones sighting.
Chandler Jones caught it and stiff arm Mac Jones into the ground and took him to the house.
Hey, hold on. That's gonna be a meme. That's gotta be a meme.
It already is.
Oh, it already is.
It already is. Okay, good.
Okay. On another note. All right.
What was Jacoby Myers thinking? Like
Raiders.
Wait, hold on. No. Can I? Go ahead.
Raiders, y'all gotta get tired of blowing big leads, man. Y'all up 17-3. You're up 17-3.
Well, I was like the Raiders gonna Raider this one up at halftime. I was like, some gonna Raider. They're gonna Raider it all the way up.
Like you're up 17. And lo and behold, you're up 17-3 going into halftime. And what happens? Pick six, field goal, another field goal, and then a Ramondre Stevens touchdown to take the lead, right? I would hate to be them, the Patriots, on that plane ride back.
Right.
Man, look, I was gonna get to this. Bill, can you? Okay, I just want to know what Bill's going through on the sideline in his head when this is all going. Because I know he ain't teach them this. This is the most unpatriot play in Bill Belichick. In the Bill Belichick area in Patriots football, this is the most unpatriot play. On the sideline, I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick was like, "Oh man, I'm getting too old for this shit."
Can you imagine what was going through his head as he's watching this play unfold? He's like watching it, like he's watching Jacoby Myers throw it, and he's just seeing Chandler Jones catch it. He's like, "Oh, I'm about to get
this is not." Hey, no, you know what he was thinking? Then he's like, "You know what? I was gonna give these guys a day off tomorrow, but hell no, they coming in the practice facility tomorrow, and then I'm making these guys run hundreds till they puke the Patriot way, son."
In the snow. Also, in the snow. I don't want to hear no one else ever trash Justin Fields ever again. You want to know why? Because at one point in this game, Matt Jones was 11 of 20 something. I think he had thrown the ball like 26 times. You know how many passing yards he had after 26 pass attempts? You know how many yards he had after 26 throws?
I mean, average 3.6 yards a throw.
That's not the point.
Goal.
Do you know how many?
That's really low.
Do you know how many yards he had after 26 pass attempts? 65. 65. Can you imagine?
1.5 yards a throw.
Can you imagine if Justin Fields had a game where he had thrown the ball 26 times and only had 65 passes? Can you imagine the vitriol and the thunderstorm that would have came down on him had that happened? 13 for 31, 112 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. But y'all want to call one quarterback a glorified running back. Sounds about white, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mac Jones can't even run the ball. Yeah, I don't man, I just like would love to like I would have loved to like because they still haven't heard like the New England Patriot radio broadcast.
I
Like, I
would
want to
have
hear
loved to be in that locker room. I would have loved to
like
have been a reporter
Man,
in
look,
that. Oh my god!
Bill came on a Bill said y'all riding coach. I mean y'all riding like the bus back to New England. And then Bill came on the plane ride and said, I bet not hear a damn word out of you. This is gonna be the quiet plane ride back to New England.
Christian.
I've never seen a game ever. Like, yo, just take it in the OT seriously. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick retired after this year because
because of that play, he retires today. Like he just like
okay.
I'm done.
So all right, so we do got a video of Jacoby Myers. He said he was trying to do too much and trying to be the hero on the final play. Said he knew the score was tied and the play didn't call for a lateral. And
no shit.
and it's easy to do that, but I'm more proud of him for owning the mistake as opposed to trying to come up with a bunch of word soup as to like try to justify trying to be the hero in that play. He's like, no, that was him saying I messed up. I was trying to do too much, and so on and so forth. Next game, next game.
Moving on to the next game, we got a low-scoring affair between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Tennessee Titans. Chargers squeak out a victory on a last-second field goal to win this game 17-14. Ryan Tannehill toughed it out after he got injured early in this game, 15-22, 165 yards and a pick. He also had a rushing touchdown in this game. Derrick Henry, 21 of 104 with one touchdown as well. He also led the team in receiving yards, which was not a great
enough.
And then on the Chargers side, Justin Herbert, 28 of 42, 313, two picks. Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly had the rushing touchdowns for the Chargers, and Keenan Allen led the team in receiving yards, 8 for 86.
Hey, Derrick Henry got the ball 24 times amongst 21 rushing, four receiving. He should have got the ball about 40 times. Okay, that should have been the game plan in the second half when they was tied. I would have been like, we're giving you the football as many times as possible.
I mean, this game was tied for a majority of the way, like basically the entire game.
We're getting football as much as possible until you're going to impose your will on this team. That's what you're going to do. That's what they should have did.
That interception they got was dope. That was pure. Like that was.
It was so amazing.
That was top tier tip drill.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah,
like that is how you do that. I ain't really got much to say about this. I want to get to the next game and the stuff that happened in the Buccaneers locker room after the game. That's what I want to get to.
All right. I mean, on the Chargers side, the Titans should have ran the ball more, but this is a good win for the Chargers team as they're kind of surging here as of late. Christian.
Yep.
Yeah, this is they're hitting their stride right now. In Tennessee, they have problems because this is normally the time of the year when Derrick Henry gets stronger, and he seems to be kind of regressing a little bit. Yeah, but the Titans just can't get out of their own way. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
The Chargers,
for sure, 3 of the last 4.
It just seems like after that game.
Yeah, they've had the 4 straight actually. Yeah, since that great game against the Packers, they've lost 3 in a row.
It seems like after that game against Green Bay, they've struggled.
Okay.
Final game before we get to the primetime game. We get Bengals Buccaneers. Tampa Bay up 17-3 at one point in this game, only to let that lead slip away with 3 possessions in a row where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers turned it over, a turnover on downs or a punt. 34-23 as Cincinnati wins this game. Joe Burrow, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Samaje Perine leading rusher for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Mitchell Wilcox, and T. Higgins all had receiving touchdowns. On the Tom Brady side in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3 touchdowns for 2 picks for Tom Brady. Leonard Fournette, 10 of 44. Chris Godwin, Russell Gage had receiving touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Russell Gage had 2 in this game.
So okay. Again, I don't give a damn about this game. I really don't, because what happened to Gio Bernard in the locker room after the game is actually quite sickening. And as a media person, it's never that is never how you should conduct post game interviews. Like, you want to call yourself a journalist, and I understand you have a tough job to do and whatnot. That does not justify you being, and excuse my language here, fellas, and I'm sorry, that does not justify you being an asshole. Like, seriously, right? He doesn't, like, he walks up, like, you walk up to him, you want to ask the questions, he says, I don't want to talk to the media. That's literally how it should be. That's how it should end. That's it. But you badger him, you pressure him, talking about some, well, what have you done all year for us to talk to you anyway? Like, really? That's how you want to act? Like, that's how you want to do it?
Well,
And kudos to Gio Bernard for handling that situation like a pro, because the other pro athletes because this clip has gone viral now, the athletes that have seen it are 100% defending Gio Bernard, and some media are siding with the female reporter, and others are like, no, that, like, you were completely out of line here, because it's no, you don't say, oh, what have you done for us to talk to you all year anyway? Like, you don't do that. You don't say you've been on IR you don't say you've been on IR the whole year anyway. Like, you don't do that. Yeah, he had a bad play in this game. He fumbled the ball on the fake snap. I mean, on the fake punt. The issue is not the question. That you can ask him about that, but
let's not pretend like that is the lone play that cost them
why
this
they
game.
lost. Like, don't like you can ask questions.
I mean, Giovanni Bernard has been an accomplished player in the NFL. I mean, he also spent a lot of his years in Cincinnati. It was probably more of a homecoming for him, and he was able to see some family and friends he hadn't seen in a few years. And they want to badger him about one play. Like, you think Giovanni Bernard is going to lose sleep over one play? No, he doesn't care.
Like, okay, like, and he kept saying, and he asked the question, like, yo, that was my fault. Made a miscommunication on my part. And he literally, and they kept asking him about it. He's like, what more? Like, yeah, it's my fault. Miscommunication on my part. Like, what? Like, why do you keep asking him the same question about the same play when he already gave you the answer?
People are going to give you some sort of different answer. Like, if they ask the same question but wording it slightly differently, like, you think you're going to get some kind of revelation response out of some player. Like, it's just
like her name is Jenna Lane, and she really thought she was doing something when she posted this video trying to make herself look like the victim here. Like, no. You look like an
ESPN reporter too.
You look like an asshole. You look like an asshole in this pic. Like, like, you're not getting that, and you're not getting the feedback you thought you were, because they killing you on Twitter. Like, you gonna have to make your Twitter profile private after this one, because everybody's going at your neck, and rightfully so. Because Gio Bernard's walking away from you, and another reporter is like, well, what have you done for us to talk to you anyway? And he turns around like, whoa, that's like, really?
Yeah, that's just bad. That's just bad journalism right there. And I mean, look, I get journalists, reporters have to do their job, but there's a way that you go about doing it, and that's not the way that you do it. Plain and simple. But overall, with the game, this was a horrible matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I had Cincinnati winning this game. David, Izzy, and TJ, just due to the simple fact Cincinnati's caught fire. I think they're the second hottest team right now in the league, behind the San Francisco 49ers. And they're doing it just by showing everything off on the field. Look, they're not saying they're bragging, oh, we're the team that came out the AFC last year. You know, they're just showing it. Plain and simple. You see how much of a difference it makes having a healthy Jamar Chase, especially in the red area of that football field. But Cincy, they're starting to run that football, and they're sneaky physical. I mean, they had that formation to get after Tom Brady. What do I always say? Pressure him up the middle, force him to make throws off his back foot, get him in long yardage situations. And the Gio incident wasn't one of the main reasons why they lost. How about your quarterback not being able to take care of the ball? A guy's not capitalizing on opportunities. He had a 17-3 lead, and he let that slip between your hands. This was a must-win game for you.
Like, the Bengals got four. The Bengals got 4 straight turnovers on 4 straight possessions. That's how they
That's how they won.
That's how you won. Like, Pat. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I gave like 0 game analysis, but that interaction like really irked me because again, like it's guys like us that have been trying to get to that level, trying to get to that ESPN level, and it's people like her that just like that's your opportunity, like that's your moment in the sun, and that's what like you're going viral for a negative interaction, right? Like that's not, and then you double down on the in the comments. Talking about, so I was looking for clarity. He like, what more clarity do you need? He said he made a mistake and it was miscommunication. Boom, there's your clarity.
And like we can talk about it being the most pivotal play in the game is a little ridiculous. Like it wasn't a good play, but it wasn't the reason they Cincinnati scored a field goal out of that. You're still up 17-6 at that point. Like you could still win that game. The fact of the matter is you turned it over four more times after that. Interception, fumble, interception, all in the positive side of the field. That's why you lost the game. It had nothing to do with that one play.
You gave a high-powered offense the ball in short field situations.
Five straight times. What
did you expect to happen?
Yep, 100%. Moving on to the final game, Sunday Night Football. Christians, New York Football Giants going to Landover, Maryland, and beat the Washington.
They got away with one.
They did get away with one for damn sure.
They got away with two, actually.
Well, going into the Washington Commanders into Landover, beating them 20-12. Pretty solid year, actually, 2012. Daniel Jones, 21-32, 160 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Saquon Barkley, for a majority of this game, was a beast. Could not be stopped. 18-87, 4.8 yards, a touchdown. Ricky James, leading receiver for the New York Giants. On the Commander side, Tyler, give me a six-pack of Heineke. 17-29, 249, one touchdown. He also had a bad fumble in this game. 12-89 for Brian Robinson, and Jahan Dotson, leading receiver for the Washington Commanders, 4 for 105 and a touchdown. But it really comes down to that final play of the game. That was for sure pass interference, and it should have been called. And I don't care that the ref is like, oh, I don't want to be the one to make that call. You make that call.
There was two.
That was horrible.
There was two. Like, right. So like the illegal formation on that Terry McLaurin got flagged for, bro. Like I'm seeing people on Twitter who really don't know the game of football. Like they're like, it's not the ref's responsibility. Like yes, it is. Like that's literally his. Like the name of his position is line
judge.
That's his job. So
I also like the legal formation on the running play. Literally has nothing to do with the actual result of the play. Don't call that. That's stupid.
That is terrible.
Legal formation because a wide receiver wasn't lined up on the line on a running play where he had no involvement in the play whatsoever.
No involvement on the play.
Don't make that call. Just don't.
And he was quick. Like, you see him point once, twice. Damn near wanted to do it 3 times. This ref didn't even pay him any attention and was quick to throw the flag as soon as the play started.
He was egregious. He was getting his hand on the flag the minute Terry McLaurin asked him, was he okay?
Like that was just the most. That was the officiating this year has been trash. I'm sorry.
I also don't necessarily like the pick play that negated a touchdown earlier in this game either. Like I just don't think that's offensive pass interference. I just don't think it is.
Like it's just gives more people like reason to say like this why they think the game is rigged. Like they can point out a bunch of referee shortcomings and say like it's just not consistently called like from game to game. Like it's just like why have a rule book? Why have a rule book if you're literally just gonna be like, all right, we have a rule book, this is how it's supposed to be called, but we're gonna allow it to be open for interpretation and you can call it at your discretion. Like if that's the case, then get rid of the rule book. Like we literally saw Justin Fields get open hand slapped to the head by Ndamukong Suh as he's sliding down, and the ref and Justin Fields gets up, yells at the ref, and the referee told him that's not a foul. If that's not a foul, then I don't ever want to see another quarterback complain about getting hit to the head.
And like, this is a game the Commanders had more yardage in this game, had more first downs, lost time possession. Had 2 turnovers. This is a game to watch. Like you have to find a way to win. You're in your home field. I mean, the Giants aren't doing anything incredibly great on the offensive side. Saquon Barkley. Obviously they still would have needed a 2-point conversion in order to tie this game.
But it takes away from the game. Like we're not even talking about the game anymore. We're talking about crappy officiating again. And the league offices have to be like, all right, we're tired. Like we got to get tired. Like you can't keep you would rather defend your guys and be wrong than call them out and be like, no, you have to be better. And I understand, like Christian he's probably like, hey, I don't give a damn. Giants won. We still in this thing, and I'll see you with the fresh cut.
So I'm trying to get like you, TJ.
Hey, I'm struggling over here. I was gonna say you look like a milk dud, but I'm gonna let you have your moment. It's cool.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
You see, I didn't do it though. You see, I ain't do it though.
Nah.
You see, I didn't.
Okay, you just ruined it.
Hey, like Daniel, 21 to 32, 160 yards. 21 to 32, 160 yards. Like, man, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is that? 160 yards.
Also, so the NFL is also not worried about the right stuff, right? Like,
no,
so
they're
NFL,
not.
Like the NFL came out today or yesterday. They're like warning teams, like, hey, you guys are spending $800 million on firing head coaches and still paying them after another. Like, why are you worried about that? Worried about the officiating and bad officiating in your games?
Well. See, that's kind of the thing of how like contracts work.
Yeah, right.
Right? like is that not like that's not how that works? Like
yeah.
if you hire a coach and you hire him just take Matt Rule for instance. You gave Matt Rule a 6-year deal, right? You fired him after what? 3 years? 4 years?
They're gonna have to pay him for 3 more years.
That's that.
But yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, he was okay in this game. He certainly didn't hurt the team.
No, he didn't.
Thoughts?
I think
this is your team, Christian. Go ahead, Izzy.
No, they had to ugly this game up. And, when I said that on Twitter, TJ even responded and said, right on cue, because that defense was extremely active.
Kayvon Thibodeau
was all over the field last night. They just didn't let Washington get into a rhythm. The Giants, this is the way they're going to have to win games because they don't have the weapons on the perimeter to stretch the field, take the top off his own coverage. This was a big win for them.
Kayvon Thibodeau with the very rare trifecta: the strip, the scoop, and the score.
And the score.
I think the bigger question is like looking ahead, and I'm looking way ahead for the Giants. Is you obviously didn't pick up Daniel Jones's 5th-year option. You're not bad enough to be in the running for one of those top tier quarterbacks like the Bryce Young, the CJ Stroud. You're not bad enough to be in that race. You didn't pick up his option. You don't know who the veteran quarterbacks are going to be on the market. Like I keep hearing Derek Carr's name out there. Like I'd be surprised if Vegas cuts him loose. Like seriously, if you're the Giants, what do you do at quarterback? Like, do you bring Daniel Jones back or do you go elsewhere?
Yeah. I'm bringing both those guys back. I'm bringing Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones back. I mean, they give you the best chance to win. You're not going to draft anybody who's going to be better than him, at least not right away. There's nobody in free agency unless you're going to dust off Matt Ryan and make that terrible decision. Daniel Jones gives you the best chance to win.
So, serious question: if Derek Carr comes available, you don't think Derek Carr can make this team better?
I mean, depending on what do you mean by come available. I mean, I don't think the Raiders are going to waive him. And one of the big reasons that Davante Adams went there is because to keep that relationship with Derek Carr. You're going to trade him away a season later. I just don't think
Davante Adams don't have a say in that situation. Like, unfortunately,
I know. I think Daniel Jones will be back next season. Thoughts? Anyone else?
The weapons around him.
Man.
That's about that little squeaking noise. That's my son, aka my dog background. Sure.
I need both of these teams. Look, I need both of these teams to start losing going into this Monday night football game. Because I am still, my team is still in the playoff hunt. We are still in the playoff hunt, ladies gentlemen. So, hey, both y'all need to start losing. Giants and Washington.
We'll see how that checks out for you. That Detroit Lion game, Lambeau Packer game, last game of the season could be for the final wild card spot in the NFL, in the NFC. So we'll see how these things shake out. But yeah, this has been Prime Sports World. This has been our week 15 so far. Recap. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I've been David Huppin, right there as the CEO of Prime Sports World, Israel Rivera, for the Daily Blitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson, and my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen. What do we do here at the Prom, my friends?
We bring the hate, ladies and gentlemen. And legend has it that the Patriots are still winning hundreds out there in Boston. Bill got them running, baby.
Oh man, that little play will be one of those plays that will live on forever.
Hey, they used to do a top 10 on ESPN about like most bonehead plays or best interceptions.
It was like the J.R. Smith. It was like the J.R. Smith play. Like,
you talking about the not top 10? They still do the not top 10.
No, they used to have these ESPN shows where it's like top 10 interceptions, top 10 touchdowns, top 10 bonehead plays in NFL history, stuff like that.
Like Shaq did a fool, only like
yeah. That's it. All right,
we'll be back here tomorrow, breaking down Monday Night Football and breaking down week number 16. Also, giving out our game balls. So yeah, I've been David Huffman. You guys all have a good night, and you know I'm secretly rooting for the Rams tonight. So take that.
Go Pack! No.
And Christian, me and you are currently tied in your Pick'em league. So good luck to you tonight, man.
You know what, man? Let me tell you something. It's funny because my one friend who's in it, he was laughing at me. He's like, "You'll never catch me," and I'm above him right now. So I took this person.
You're beating me. We're tied actually. We have the same amount of points.
You taking the Rams tonight?
This is great. This is great. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Peace out.
You'll find out when the game starts who I picked.
All right, cool. All right, man.
Peace out, brother.
Later.